Hi, just doing a quick follow-up on my most recent video, the small bathroom repairs. The plaster has dried around the hook and I've put a screw in there. I might have to take the screw out a little bit more for the anchor to fit. And what happened with the anchor was I started screwing the screw in and it just kept going and going and going. And I thought, well, it should have gripped by now. But what it's been doing is shredding the rope. There's a bit there, there's a bit at the front, you can see. So all the screw was doing was just turning and turning around, not even going through yet. So what I've had to do is have a rethink. How am I going to hang this? So what I've done, I've already started it so you didn't have to go through the drama of watching me fiddle, because it didn't work out the way I expected, because I was trying to do it up so you could see and it didn't happen. So always make sure you've got a good workbench to work on. I couldn't even sit that flat on the sink on the bench because it was sliding off. So I went and did what I needed to do, but I will show you what I did. Now, when I get plastic lids, the soft ones, like off ice cream containers, milk bottle tops, soda bottles, soft drink, cool drink, pop, whatever you want to call it, they're too hard to mess with. So I always keep these and I throw them in a box in my craft room. And what I did was I cut a piece off the edge and I put the screw through that small piece. And you're probably thinking, why on earth would you do that? Well, because I do have some hooks and eyes somewhere, some small ones, and I don't know where they are. Can't find them. So I did find a container full of the ring pulls off cans. The only trouble was the screw head slid straight through the small bit. So what I did was I cut that to size, and that is now acting as a washer because I didn't have any washers small enough to put a washer over there. So that's my washer, that piece of plastic capping. Now, to get the screw through that plastic capping, I couldn't get that through either. So I did a pilot hole, and all I used to do the pilot hole with was a needle. Just a plain ordinary, whoops, turn up, no, that's the eye. Just an ordinary sewing needle. Went straight through. It took a bit, but it went through. And then I took the screws off everything, just used the screw and the screwdriver and started a pilot hole with the screw. So now all I have to do is pop that on there, put that on there, and screw it down. Now we'll try and keep the washer horizontal, otherwise it's going to end up, if it's vertical, it'll block the hole where you're going to be hanging your hanger. So I'll try and hold it down with one hand, but it doesn't work. So I've got a finger on either side of the plastic washer, and I've got to be careful because when I first started doing this, I was trying to do it this way so you could see. The screw first went in on an angle. So I realised, got it out as quickly as I could and started it again. The only problem is it has got a slight angle on it now. So that's the worst of not doing things flat on a workbench and having clamps and things, trying to do everything with just two hands. Some days you wish you were an octopus. Anyway, there we go. That's going in. The washer's tight. Hook's in the right place. Screws tight. Now, the only problem with this is, because it's now hanging free and loose, I was going to hang it with the rope, but you could see the screw and the mess in the wall, so I didn't want to do that. I might one day redo it and bring it down a bit. I'll see. And then I can just cover that whole mess up. So that's that bit done. I'm just going to get the pliers behind that, bring it forward a little bit. You have to be careful though, because these are quite thin, and if you bend too much they will snap. So that will hang on there, but I might have to bring that hook, bring the screw a little bit further out, so it's got something to hang on to. Okay, so now what I'm going to need is some double-sided tape at the bottom that will hold that so that it won't swing. Because if I try and put a towel on that now, put the hand towel on. No, it's all right, it's holding it, but I don't trust it. It may still fall. So that's that bit done and fixed. I also went out into my shed because I knew I did have another roll of plumber's tape somewhere, and I found it. So I didn't have to go to Bunnings, which has probably just saved me a heap of money, because I don't just go into Bunnings to get what I want. I go for a wander. I know there's a lot of other things I want to get from there. But anyway, that's that done. I need the scissors to cut it with, because it doesn't tear easily. It might do for the guys, but it doesn't for me. I don't know why. Okay, so I've now got to get that. See, can I bring that a bit further forward? Yeah. I want to get the tape on here so I can put the hose back. Now I'm going to be screwing this anti-clockwise. Now righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This is righty-tighty, so I've got to make sure I wrap the tape around anti-clockwise as well, because if I do it this way and then I try and screw it on, it's just going to peel it off. So here we go. Get rid of that bit. Now it's best, as I showed you before, hold that bit down. Now this is where you can get into a bit of a pickle, because I've now got to get that around there without it folding in on itself, because it does that quite easily. Got that bit. Now what I should do is, I'll show you. If I cut a piece off, then I don't have to worry about it too much, because I'm not trying to get the roll around. I've just got to get the tape. So I cut a piece off that you know is going to be long enough. Wrap it around. You don't want too much, otherwise it won't fit. So pop that back on. And again, make sure you've got it straight, because you don't want to cross thread. That's on. Now, I'm not going to try it yet, because I need to get the calipers to just give it that extra twist to make sure it's completely tight, and then it won't leak. And that's now that fixed. Okay, so I hope that helped seeing the finished product. And I forgot to put the I've got my microphone on, but the receiver's down there on the bench, so I'm hoping the full volume on the phone has taken over. I'm waffling again. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye for now. How to make a small job into a big one. The pop top didn't last long, because I'd bent it twice, one way and then the next. It had already started to split, so the towel didn't last long. So what I've done, the only way to do it is to drill right through the whole thing and use a screw all the way through. The only problem is I didn't realise this is just a bit of chipboard with a little laminate top over it. So as I drilled from the back because I didn't want to start a new hole, kept going through and it pushed the laminate off. So I've just made more work for myself. Because the only screws I've got are countersunk screws. I haven't got any straight flatheads. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to need to countersink here so that that will go all the way through, and then I can put something over the top, because if I leave this as it is and raw, the steam from the bathroom is just going to make that a mess. So what I'll see, I might be able to, I do have some laminate strip for edging, like if you're edging cupboards. It's white, but I've got plenty of acrylic paint, I can paint it blue. So this is turning into a longer job than planned. So first off, I need to countersink. And to do that, I've actually got a set of, here. It's a countersink set, 3-piece. So I've got different sizes. I've got 3/8 inch, 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. So at the moment I'm just using the small one, the 3/8 of an inch, because I don't have to go too far in. All I need to do is make sure that I can get this curved part in so that the head sits flat against the top. So that might be enough, I don't know, but I'd rather do a little bit, test it, and then come back and do a little bit more if I need to. Now I don't know what I did with I got the big screwdriver out because it's easier to use than this little one. I think I've left it over where my drills sit, so we'll use this one for now. Okay, that is not quite flat. It's only got to go a little bit further. And unfortunately, it's actually hitting the, I don't know whether that's plastic or just cardboard, where the thermometer is. But I don't really need the thermometer on there because I can't read it that far up the wall anyway. So I might actually, if it damages the thermometer, I'll leave it off. So just a tad more and that will fix that for me. I'll hold on to that so I don't lose it on the ground. Okay, I think that should do it. See, I try with a reciprocating screwdriver, you have to keep changing it, but they are handy. Okay, that seems to be, that's a lot better. So now I'll be able to put something across there and that will hide the screw. So I might even just use a piece of vinyl if I've got some stick-on vinyl, permanent vinyl. I might be able to do it with that rather than try and iron the laminate across it and then have to paint. So see how we go. As long as I've got it waterproofed, I'm happy. So now we'll go and put this back into the bathroom. Okay, first I'm going to get that screw out. I'll take this one out of here so that this one's free to go in there. Well, I don't know whether that one will go through the whole lot. It may. I'm fighting myself. I've got a funny feeling it might be the same size as this one. No, that one's a bit longer. If I pop that one through there, is that going to be long enough then? Oh, it should be. Instead of using the very long one, I can get away with using this one. Okay. Which way am I going? No, I want it that way. That's better. That way. See, that's still spinning and spinning and spinning and going nowhere, and I don't know why. I don't think it's long enough. It's not long enough to fit all the way through, which is a shame. So that one can come out and the long one can go in. Let's get that one in. Oops. Let's see where I'm going. There. See, I can feel that one actually gripping and it's not moving. That's it. Oh, it's moving a little bit, but not as much as it was before. That's it. That's better. It's nice and tight. I don't have to put any double-sided tape behind it. So let's try again. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.